Maurice Brown.
And I'm Sarah Chapin.
She looks so gorgeous, you guys. I wish you could see her
We
right
should have
now.
just done live today.
I know. Oh, you still can. On the first commercial break, we can make it happen.
Oh, but I might ruin the surprise.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
So never mind.
Anyway, she just looks gorgeous, everybody. I just have to say.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm like, we're going on a date? I want to go on a date.
We can go on a date. That's fine. We can go
Okay.
together.
Girls' date. Anyways, I hope everyone is having a wonderful Tuesday. It's been a good week so far. I don't know if anyone else has had such like good vibes right now. I mean, but it just is. It feels really good this week.
It
Very.
feels really relaxing and less stressful than it has been, so I'm fine with that.
Right? Good change of pace.
Yes.
Marie's got to be by the ocean, so you're
Yes.
feeling whole and centered.
And relaxed.
Absolutely. How about you, Norma? How's your week been?
I was with my parents, and now I'm going back.
Oh,
Aw.
good. Yes, we are sitting down with our lovely Norma Mallari. I said it right, Mom?
Yes.
Woo!
Yay!
I've been
So
saying it
excited.
wrong, people, for like years now, which is terrible.
It
but-
means it's possible.
And you know what? That is so fitting for you, honestly. It's completely, kind of sums you up. But Norma is part of the World Financial Group. We'll dive into that, obviously, and get going into that here in a bit. But Norma has also, if you guys want to look up, we have had her on a previous podcast too. So you can always go back. I believe it was season 2, episode 8.
That's right.
So if you want to hear a little bit more about Norma, that you know, if you miss anything tonight, she's just a lovely lady, and her long-standing motto is "Health is wealth," and she's on a mission to lead others in educating about health and wellness in all aspects, including financial health. And she believes in living simply to be able to have time and financial freedom to pursue one's passions and live one's dreams, which is.
Perfect.
It's like I said, it just encompasses you too. Like it just really does. If anyone's met Norma, she is just she's such a pleasure to be around. You bring such beautiful, warm, kind energy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So we love our Norma.
Yes, we do. OG. What are the OGs?
Yes, you've been a part of.
What is OGs?
Original.
I love it. Elijah asked that too the other day because I always say OG, and he's like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "Original gangsta." You're
Yeah,
the OG. You've been around since the beginning.
the core group.
Yes.
A year later.
Well, it's been longer than
We're
a
at
year.
3
girl.
years now.
Yeah.
No, I mean I joined you a year later.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So did you join around the same time I did then, or after? Or?
After.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, but it has been wonderful.
I am curious what tempted you to come out to Women of Vision to a meeting, and why did you choose to come check it out?
Well, I have always been invited by several people, by several ladies. And then one day I saw a group of you parked beside me at the parking lot of my old office in downtown. And we crossed the road together, and you were just full of life.
Oh.
And I was going to my girlfriend, to shop. And guess what? You were all there.
Aw.
So at Carousel.
Yeah, we were all
Oh my
doing.
gosh! It was kismet. It was meant to be.
And then somebody there, Erin, invited me, and I don't know what happened. I asked also the other girls who have started inviting me, like Michelle Madrigal. We also belong to the cancer survivors. And so I said, "What is this group?" But if they look so lively and vibrant, and she, "Oh, you better check it out." And I said, "Another thing to do."
All right.
And then I looked into the website, and I just got hooked.
You're so sweet.
Aw.
You definitely belong.
It's
'cause
the
you-
mission and the vision that got me, because
Aw.
I've always been my personal ones too.
Yes, I love
Warms
that.
my heart.
It does. Maurice, do you want to, just since she threw it out there,
What?
can you read it off the top of
Oh
your
my
head?
gosh, no, I can't.
But it really is a group of amazing ladies who are just really out there to support each other and lift each other up. Not only with their businesses, obviously, but just to grow relationships.
And no competition.
Exactly. Collaboration over competition.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
And you are a busy woman, so I'm glad that you make time for us.
I live in
That's
two
right.
I live in two cities. So
I was surprised to see you last week at our little social. That was cute.
I'm so bummed.
I went to Portland after that.
I'm
And
like,
now I'm going
Norma,
back.
aren't you afraid of COVID?
Well,
And she's like,
you folks will not endanger me, and that's another thing is trust. I trust all of you.
I was gonna say, what is the answer?
well, and
to
she is
that?
a survivor, you guys. She just said that.
Yes.
Breast cancer survivor.
By the grace of God, it has been 9 blessed years, and I thank God for every second that I take and every step that I take.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Goodness gracious. So give us a little bit of your background, Norma. Where are you from?
Oh, I am originally from the Philippines, and I migrated here to join my folks and my parents and my brothers, in 1983.
Oh.
Hey.
I was 24 years old. So from the rural area to Manila to Portland and now to Reading.
Oh my gosh.
So that is the
path.
the movement that I've been through. Yes.
How was that change from going from the Philippines to Portland?
It was from millions of residents where I used to live in Manila. It was quite refreshing to see some air and some
That's true, because Manila is a very
Yeah.
large city.
and some
Yeah.
streets that have no people, and
Yeah.
clean.
Yeah.
It's very, very different.
I can imagine. I've never been to the Philippines. My sister played volleyball there for a season. But she said it's definitely a whole different world.
Well, especially where you were from. Manila's like the city is populated and
It's millions of people.
yeah.
You can hear
And
your neighbors.
polluted, populated, and polluted.
Yeah.
You gotta wear a mask. Actually, a mask is a daily thing, right?
No. We never wear masks.
Not at
there,
that time, but
at that
these
time.
times,
But
yeah.
this time, yes.
Yeah. I mean, and traffic too. I know she'd talk about they'd have to leave hours
Oh yes.
early
Oh,
to
yes.
get to their
Oh, wow.
practices
Oh, yes.
just to go a very short distance to.
Mm,
That's
yes.
insane.
My kids have no
Mm.
clue of how difficult it is to commute over there.
You are a city
So-
girl. So Portland's like, psh,
Right?
she's good.
It's like it's a small town.
Portland is a small town.
Okay, so did you meet your husband here after you came
I
over
met
with your
my
parents? or-
husband in my parents' house.
Oh,
Yes, they made it happen.
okay.
Yes.
So you didn't have a choice. You're like, I guess I hope I like you.
I could, I could have a choice, but he was too good looking too.
Oh.
You guys, she told us the story last week, but yeah, it was fun.
Yes.
I love that.
Someday I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, she's a firecracker though. She gave her a hard time,
Oh.
and she had plenty of suitors.
Oh, I believe it. Norma's beautiful. You are beautiful.
Oh,
And I've seen pictures too from when you were younger, and you're still, like I said, you're beautiful now. So I can imagine.
She's
back in
dropped
the day,
dead
girl.
gorgeous in her pictures.
well, thank you.
Yeah, she was beating him off with a stick.
I think she did.
Hey, well, I'm glad he won because we got to talk a little bit when we come back. We're already creeping into our first break about your children and a little bit more again about your past because you did a lot of years as an occupational therapist. So
31 years.
we're going to come back to that when we come back from our commercial break. But we definitely want to mention our sponsors who make this show happen. We're so thankful for you guys because we get to come in here and have fun every Tuesday. So thank
Yeah,
you.
we do. Thanks, ladies, for supporting our show. Sarah Beck with Legal Shield. She offers affordable access to top attorneys and identity theft. Bargain Books and More, located 836 Butte Street, open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6 p.m. Everbloom Skincare, 660A Azalea Avenue. Results-driven facials. Natural Acne Clinic, botanical based on non-toxic skincare. Deborah Mitchell's with oils for young and healthy living. Jesse Baldwin, certified health coach, free health coaching services. Give her a call at 530-355-5929. And to Linda Lingo, financial coach. Linda inspires and guides women to clarity and confidence in their finances.
Yes, definitely get out there and help support local right now. I know everybody's doing a really well. Some are open for business, obviously, and then everyone's done a really good job too with I feel like their online services or ways to connect with them. If you are not wanting to put yourself out there,
And everybody has social media, so you can
Yeah.
always connect there too.
check it out. Help support local, and we will be back here on the Women of Vision show here on KCNR in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody, to the Women of Vision show here on KCNR. And we are visiting with our lovely friend Norma Mallari of World Financial Group. And we were just talking a little bit about just life, how you got to where you're going, and all the suitors, and hi to your hubby.
And the sticks you used.
Right?
To fend them off.
I love it. But he
No,
won.
it's just the eyes. I just look at them.
Ah, she's got them eyes. But we were talking a little bit too that you, right before we went into break, that you did 31 years of service as an occupational therapist. So how did we get to that point after moving from Portland? You were a youngster. I mean, how did you get into occupational therapy, my dear?
It was very well, even now, very much in demand. There were very few of us. As a matter of fact, even now they want me to get back to it. I bring Holy Communion to the sick before COVID, and there are a lot of coworkers and even the directors of the facilities telling me that there are some patients that have not been seen by therapists, and I feel so guilty sometimes.
Oh.
There's a great need for occupational therapy. So it was during the recession when I came here, so there was no work, 1983. But after a while, I was able to take my board exam and got to work right away.
Okay, so this is something that you planned on doing from...
No,
No.
it just happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you just were like, I'm just going to take this exam and see if I can pass. And
No, I took the exam because I want to buy a house.
okay.
And, $10, and I would call this $4 an hour at that time was taking me a long time to buy a house.
Yeah, you're going to be working a
So-
while.
It was a recession.
Right.
Yeah.
So just for people who are maybe unaware of what is an occupational therapist? What is the difference between a regular therapist and an occupational therapist?
Occupational therapist is one of the members of the rehabilitation team. It is just like related to physical therapy and much more, because we are into activities of daily living. So, and also we do other aspects of a person or a patient other than the physical. So we do their mental, emotional, and then even their recreational. All of that aspect is the whole occupational therapy. As we can say, we see them before even they are born, and up to the facts that until they die. So we have all that from womb to tomb kind of
Wow.
of coverage.
That really spans a lot.
It does. Well, if you realize what occupational therapy does, it's just to maximize the activities of daily living or to maximize their ability to live, then that's occupational therapy. So unfortunately, it's very, very misnamed because, they ask, well, a child that you are seeing doesn't have any occupation.
Right.
Well, it does. The occupation, for example, of a small child that I am seeing is to roll from side to side and to be able to sit up and to be able to walk. Or the child probably doesn't have a good handwriting and is making it difficult for her or him to be in school, at that time when handwriting was still very important.
Right.
And
The lost art now.
or ability to even communicate or ability to be in a group. All of those, because we have mental health, a very big part of occupational therapy is mental health.
That's
And
huge.
so-
I didn't even realize that, and I kind of thought I had an idea of
Great
what
question.
occupational therapy was.
But that's a good question. It started really during the war when all those soldiers needed to have an occupation, and so but then it really expanded in my education I saw kids, and even pregnant ladies, teaching them how babies and how to have a healthy pregnancy,
Okay.
up to folks that are dying. So yes,
So you run the gamut with everybody, like you said. I mean,
yes, anything that will help them, have the maximum level of their, or not only in what you call this, in function, but in quality.
yeah, so it's like
Quality.
quality of life.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
sounds rewarding, but can also be, I'm sure, can take up a lot out of you.
Oh, I was just like in so much in love and passionate with my with my work, I didn't even think that it was work. And that's the reason why I encourage all my students and all my cousins and my nieces and nephews to take occupational therapy, because I said, how would you like to play basketball all day long? And I did that sometimes when I have a basketball on wheels, or how would you like to play baseball all day long with the blind, with the blind clients or patients, or you can do crafts all day long too, but it's just a very, very rewarding occupation or profession. I didn't even think it was a profession for me. It was like a mission.
Oh, that's
Just-
It suits her. It suits you very well, and your personality and the way that you do like to pour into people and give to people. It makes sense that would you'd be naturally quite good at it, my dear.
We have one lady that you probably all know, Bigly Fator, is now an occupational therapist. So I'm just so happy for her.
Oh, that's
So-
amazing.
Yes.
Were you like a mentor, do you think?
I was. When you are an occupational therapist, you are an educator.
Right.
You teach a quadriplegic how to be able to hold his head. Physical therapists do that too, but we have to maximize their function. So I taught them how to hold a pen, for example, to sign their names, and then that will get into what are your dreams now that you cannot dive for pearls, because sometimes that's the reason why they got to be in that condition is they dove for pearls, in the Philippine Sea. And then I got to make sure that they are able to, it's not what a man has lost, but what has left that's important. So I've encouraged a lot of quadriplegics how to draw and how to paint.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you can see that on they found me on Facebook. And so now my life is so much richer, because they early in the morning when I have having a hard time with the kids, for example, and they will say, "Hi, Mom Norma," and I could not be so distressed anymore. These are people who cannot move anything,
Yeah.
and then they are so happy, So, yeah, that's. I'm just so glad that they found me.
What's the range of time frame like for? I mean, I'm sure every situation is different, but for something like that, like learning to write.
Well, it depends, because like for this particular boy, he was 16 when I met him. He's now 50s, in his 50s. He didn't even want to talk to me. He will close his eyes whenever I pass his bed. And there is a lot of, when you are quadriplegic or even a paraplegic, when you lost something, there's a lot of emotional, components to that. And that's the reason why we had a lot of psychology in our courses.
Yeah.
It's because of that. And your question is very, very good, because it depends on, a lot of factors.
Right, because everyone's probably in a different place.
Yeah.
With mentally about what they're wanting to do, if they're even wanting to. Like
Yeah,
you said.
or
very-
they're already improving, and then they are left behind by their spouses or something like that. That will just again, get to the regression and all of that. So we do a lot of education.
Sounds like a very passionate work
Yeah,
and very involved work.
I would be crying all the time.
Yeah, I know. Like dealing with people is
and
I mean, tears of joy, but also
and,
like
and we can work anywhere. We can
that's a
work.
good point.
Yeah, we were able to work in rural areas, in the cities. We were able to work in the slums. We were able to work in prisons, rehab centers,
okay.
and those are our internship.
Prisons.
Yeah, oh yes, of course. You have to
Well, right,
You
but
have to
I just am
rehabilitate
like,
them.
whoa, that's kind of intense too, Norma. She's been everywhere. I like it.
I can't imagine 30 years.
Well, yeah.
31.
31. Oh my gosh.
31 years. So I'm really curious when we come back too from our next break, kind of how your career came to a close and kind of the transition into what it is that you do now, because they do tie in together.
Yes, very much so.
So it makes a lot of sense. But we do have to thank some more of our amazing sponsors who, honestly, you guys, we really appreciate it, especially right now with everything that's going on, to still support us in our show. It really means the world. So thank you guys.
Shout out to Michelle Lane Coaching, Michelle is a life coach helping you to get to the root of what's holding you back from the life you desire most. She helps women remember who they are beyond the daily hustle, obligation, and overwhelm so they can awaken and deepen their truth, intuition, and self trust. Lit from within, 2449 Athens Avenue. They do organic spray tanning, infrared sauna, light therapy, yoga, meditation, dance, hip hop, fitness, Pilates, kids yoga, and more.
We do everything.
And I think they do twerk now and
Yes. And
yoga for
yoga
prenatal.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bev
They do
Gray.
it all.
Yes.
All.
Bev Gray with Zervita. It's a nutritious drink that will give you the energy that you need. Felicia Tortorici at All Fired Up, 1796 Churn Creek Road. They do pottery painting, life casting, board art, clay bricks, clay and fused glass workshops. Master Intuitive Life Coach Dana Grant. And Sarah Clark with Reliefs Trading, 100% USDA certified organic hemp grown at Whole Circle Farms in Oregon, USA.
Got some awesome people.
Yes, we do.
Definitely check them out, guys. I know they're all on social media too, so they're easy to find.
And I just drank Zeal before I came here, which is from Bev. So.
Oh, nice.
Rita. We've got a testimonial.
Yay,
Anyways, we
good.
will be back here shortly on the Women of Vision show here at KCNR. Welcome back to the Women of Vision show, everybody, here on KCNR. And we were just talking with the lovely Norma Mallari about her time as an occupational therapist, which is just, again, very well suited for you and your personality and what I feel like you bring to the table for people. I would have a hard time, I think, with that one.
So much fun, though. So much fun.
Absolutely, and super rewarding. I can only imagine how, you feel making a difference in somebody's life at the end of every day.
And there are a lot of male therapists, too.
Yeah.
I went to school with a lot of male therapists occupational therapists that I still correspond with.
Do you think it's a more male-driven field?
No, it's both ways. I
Okay,
went to
so good.
I went to our reunion, and there's equally a lot. Yeah. Some elderly patients would not like me to help them, teach them how to take a bath or shower, for example.
Oh, wow.
Why?
They like the man.
Oh, okay.
Inside scoop.
So after 31 years, I mean, how did your career come to a close, my dear? Was it more just a choice that
It
you were
was-
kind of ready to be done?
Yes, it
Okay.
was a transition. I think some of you knew that I had breast cancer diagnosis, and I had 16 chemotherapists, and then I was not feeling good to be responsible for 6 to 10 people a day.
Okay, so
it
you got
was-
your diagnosis while you were still working.
No, I retired and then I got the diagnosis.
Okay, gotcha.
I had so much plans. You know how they say, it's in Proverbs, 1921, that men have so many plans, but then it's God that decides. I have so much plans, when I tried to just lessen my work. I worked per diem, and then I was just working less and less because I wanted to write the story of my parents. And I also have many, many things to do that have been on the back burner, raising the 4 boys.
I was gonna say you've got a house full.
Correct.
I mean,
And they
full-time mama.
They went to 2 schools, one in Palos Ilroy and 3 at St. Joseph, so as Bishop Quinn. And so those are things that I just decided, I was working less and less, but I also was I was enjoying, my garden and my husband's paintings, and I have to identify all his work because he was also a hybridizer of roses. And
Aw.
so, and trying to get those roses to the American Rose Society, they need pictures and they need description. I have so much, to
Oh my gosh, you do
there's-
a lot.
and I volunteer at church too, so it's just like so much, and at school,
Right.
And so I decided, I told my husband, I probably will just not sign in for a per diem and just go full time, with the boys and taking care of my parents as well. At the time, they were still very, very healthy, but I want to just interview them and learn about their life when
Right,
they were
spend that
kids.
time with them.
And they have so much stories during the war. I want to know. So
Okay, so it was just a natural progression that for you to step away kind of
correct.
at that time
Correct,
from your job.
correct. And I already knew what I was wanting to do because my children were in the business before me.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
So you knew before you ended your career as an occupational therapist that you wanted to work.
Correct.
Doing-
To do financial education and life insurance. So that just came because I said if they can do it, I can do it too. They were speaking my lingo too. They were saying, and that is the reason why I said, like, gosh, this really fits into my career.
Right.
Because in 2012 in Portland in Oregon, that already came the new life insurance with living benefits and long-term care. So that was the one that really got me into it because I can hear my voice say, if you cannot do two activities of daily living like cleaning or bathing and dressing or toileting or feeding yourself, then you can accelerate your death benefit. And so I said, like, am I dreaming or what? They are talking activities of daily living.
Which correlates to exactly what you were
That
doing.
is what that's what occupational therapists are known for, is to improve the activities of daily living of clients, whether they are children or elderly,
Right.
And so, yes, activities of daily living is in every insurance brochure that with the Evolve Life Insurance. Unfortunately, it took another 2 years for it to come to California. We have already been doing that in Portland, for 2 years before it came here. So, and nobody knows about it. They still just think that life insurance is the death insurance, which is you have to die to be able to.
I was going to say, can you explain maybe the difference for, people who maybe
sure.
don't know what the, because I didn't realize either until you and I have spoken when we, met previously through Women of Vision. I mean, I don't know if it's just that like you're young and you don't necessarily think about, oh, I should have all of my ducks in a row, or that they're, you know what I mean? You don't think about life insurance. I'll just be really honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's not
and until a neighbor or an auntie dies, and then there lives your 7 cousins or even 1 cousin,
right.
that does not have anything, left for him or her. So yes, traditionally, life insurance is, you buy life insurance so that your loved ones will go on life, without you, because you're dead. And that is one of the main reasons why people bought insurance, like especially when they get married or when they have children, right?
Right.
Or where,
so you can take care of your family
or
if something
yes,
should
or
happen.
yeah, and that is the traditional life insurance.
Okay.
And there are many stories of how people have become what they are, because even in the just one of our ladies too, Ann Jensen, she tells of a story that I like to really listen to her tell the story herself, is that because her great grandmother, even in the depression, was able to save her grocery money or market money to buy life insurance for the grandfather, and then that's how they were able to go on life, despite the fact that it was very meager money at that time. If not for that, then there won't be anything for the survivors to live on,
Right.
And then, of course, with all the advances of medicine and technology and nutrition, we are living much longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that comes also, that although we are so happy about that, like my parents are both 93 almost now, that comes also the problem of, staying to fund that longevity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It used to be like you are, when it used to be, even when I was much younger, in my 40s and 30s, we were planning with our financial advisor for 10 years after 65. That's how we were calculating how much to save.
Right.
See? But no, it's no longer. After 65, you have another lifetime of 30 years even
Right.
to live. And so somehow life insurance knows that is what's happening. As I told you, my passion is health and wealth. They have to also make sure that when you get sick, like a stroke or a heart attack, your life insurance, if it is a death insurance, is useless.
Right, you can't tap into any of that.
And then you lose your home. And how many, and this is really related to my work in the hospital for 31 years and also the nursing facility, because at that time in the 80s, we were the one who brought rehab in nursing facilities. Because
right.
at that time, there was no skilled nursing yet.
Okay.
We were the one who established it and launched it. And at that time, I can see that my clients, my patients lost their homes and cashed out their IRAs and their 401ks.
Right.
With just
While
one.
rehabilitating.
No, with just one diagnosis.
Right. Well, I'm thinking about the hospital costs.
Mhm.
We're not even talking about the rehab facility
No.
portion of it. I mean, just
going
cost of,
going to the emergency.
right.
Yeah.
Right? Because thousands of dollars. So this was even in the 80s and the 90s, right? When I started really consoling, you get attached to your clients because you don't see them for one day.
Right.
You get to work with them for weeks and sometimes months. So I have just
You see the struggle.
I have just been in the middle of all of these stresses about money and about losses.
Sheesh. Yeah, it's very intense. The costs that come alongside not only having something like that happen, but then, like you said, going into rehab, going into a facility to help you get your quality of life back so then you can go back to your normal life and continue living.
Okay, yes, and
Mhm.
even after rehab, what's life beyond rehab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well, especially if you're elderly and you can't go to work anymore, but you like you said, funding that longevity.
And it does not necessarily mean even like what about if you're 24, and you're married, or even 37 or 42, you cannot work anymore.
right
And-
because of the
Of like
injury.
say a heart attack or even an accident.
Mm-hmm.
An accident like a person a ski accident in Lake Tahoe or something like
Mhm.
that. So with your accelerated benefits, with the new evolved life insurance, it is so economical and yet so useful.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to.
Cool.
You'll have to give us some more information about that when we come back from our final break. Gosh, it always
Yeah.
flies. I tell you what. We
Yeah.
definitely want to mention the last of our sponsors.
Yeah, there's not much left. Actually, I went through them pretty quick today. I don't know why. Some days I'm like,
She was
struggling.
zooming.
I know. Thank you to Max Mallari with World Financial Group. Alia Beers with Boheme Salon and Spa, 961 Dana Drive, Suite 130. And last but not least, Sarah Marie Spectrum. She helps you find the magic in you through her creative photography and videography. And I wish you guys could see her right now. She looks magical.
She does.
We have to
With
take a
her
picture of
Thank you. You're really sweet.
Designer dress.
I know. She looks just. Anyways, you look fantastic.
We will share
Thank
these
you.
pictures when it
Thank
comes
you.
out.
Mhm.
Y'all too kind.
Yeah, she's very creative, you guys, and honestly, I can attest to the fact that she's not really in a box, though, either. So if you think she's only about one type of photography, she's not. She's that good. So
Yeah.
check her out. Anyways, we will be back here shortly after our last break. This is the Women of Vision show here on Welcome back, everybody, to the Women of Vision show here on KCNR. We are having a very informative conversation with our amazing Norma Mallari, who is a part of World Financial Group, and that is basically living life insurance, correct?
It's more than that. It's just that my family just wanted to streamline our business because it can be so wide a range. So we just life insurance is just one part of what we do.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't
So,
realize that.
Yes, it's very very much a part of what we do because of my mission. To upgrade or change death insurances as we know it to life insurance with living benefits and long-term care. But we also do, final expenses, college education,
Gosh, so you
and,
have
and debt elimination, and just rolling over of IRAs and 401ks or monies that don't earn anything in the bank, for example.
Okay.
So yes,
So you guys have a lot of services,
we do
actually.
we do have a lot of services.
Okay, so if you guys have any, money questions in general, then financial stuff.
Especially for life insurance for me, because that's what I am teaching my son Max,
Right.
who open his own office, 8 miles away from me, I am telling him to just focus on the one that is needed the most.
Right.
We have barely touched our market is the whole United States, and we have barely touched a Reading. So
Wow.
yes.
And the thing that is crazy, we were kind of talking over the break about, I mean, there are accidents that happen all the time, or just, you could be young and healthy and have something, like you said, skiing accident in Tahoe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
We have that. Yeah.
Car accident.
car accidents.
Yeah.
I mean, it really kind of shines the light on the fact that our health and our wellness is very key, and that things can change at any moment.
Oh yes.
So that is why it is really important to have something in place to help with those unexpected situations.
Yeah, there are a lot. With life, there are a lot of curveballs. But as they say, my children loves this one. The best way to predict the future is to create it. That's with Abraham Lincoln, and that is all in our in our emails and all our graphics. So preparation really is the key. And when you have that in place, you have security and you have health. Because
Right.
when you have security and you know that your family is protected, you can sleep better.
Yeah.
And and you feel different when you have security. Max at today said many times, and I can hear him. Because I work in his office today, is that, man, you insure your house and your rental properties and your car, even your phone and your TV and whatever, but what is your most valuable asset is yourself and your children. So,
Yeah. Plus, it's peace of mind too. Like, especially if you have a family. I mean, it's already so difficult that you lost a loved one. It's gonna be hard for them. But then the shock of like, oh my gosh, especially if you're like the main breadwinner of the family.
it cushions the impact of the
Grief.
death.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
I'm sure you've had like stories.
Oh, we have a lot
Different-
of stories.
yeah.
Yes, because as I said, it's not just death now. It can be also any kind of illnesses that can limit you to work.
Right. Going back to work or
and
having.
or limit you to do your activities of daily living, and that is really my crusade. It's really a mission. It's not just financial literacy, but financial literacy with action. Because one of the things in financial literacy is protection. It's the foundation of all. What good is investing $200, for example, every paycheck or every month? That will not be sufficient if you have a medical event.
Right.
So before that, or during that, you have to make sure you have protection first.
So are there different levels of, protection that people can come and get from you? Because I'm assuming that some
Sure.
people have different
Sure.
needs or,
Yes.
than others.
Of course, when you are young, you don't have that much assets yet, or you don't have that much income yet. Then we can just give you the term, which is the temporary one, and then later on we can probably teach you with financial literacy how to make more cash flow so that you can turn that into permanent. That will cover you for the rest of your life. But let's just use the example, the one that I just did from Nevada, because I do have clients there too. For even a 31-year-old with 2 kids, it's only like $23.01, and for the wife, it's only $19.78 for $250,000. So
Wow.
with that, okay, that was only an addition to what they have because they bought a house. So any life change, you will have to review their needs. So it's just one of those things that. But can you imagine? Most people think that it's very expensive.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, I wouldn't know that 23. That's monthly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nothing, you guys. You spend probably more than that on coffee in a week.
Yeah, and I've sat with Norma before. She can also show you how to budget it. I mean,
Yeah.
based according to your income and budget, obviously.
And
I'll be there. I'll sit with her. I'm like, no, that's too high. Slow down.
yes, it really is, because you have to give a client what is doable, or else they'll drop it.
Yeah.
Well, right.
And what separates me and Max, and Dominic, and my family is we just don't sell you. We have to make sure that we teach you financial literacy.
That, and
Because-
you want it to be like, it doesn't make a difference in your paycheck, right? It's just.
No, it is something doable.
Mhm.
It's something that you can, the most common mistake, and I see this in the hospital many times, is they drop the life insurance, because it's a cost when things are rough.
Right. When it
Because
gets
they will
tight.
say that's the first thing that they don't drop their cable or anything, but they will drop life insurance because they will do that later, but that is very true.
It's the problem. We always think there's time.
Yeah. It's an investment, not cost.
And then another thing too is you have to make sure that you know how much, because even if some people have insurance, I find that even doctors or lawyers, they are underinsured because they just get it from the hospital or from their employers.
Mhm.
Once they leave, they don't have anything, because that's only a perk from their jobs. And so when we evaluate the person, we just say, okay, unfortunately, even those that have life insurance, which is about only 50+% of the population, even those most of them are underinsured, very, very grossly underinsured.
Oh yeah.
Well, I feel like they make it when you don't have someone that you can sit down and actually talk to about what the coverage is, like with you.
Yeah.
You're just it's a lot of paperwork.
Actually,
You know what I mean? They're just
yeah.
like, here's this giant packet. This is the plan you're signing up for. And unless you're diligent to sit and actually go through it and make sure what you're paying for and what your coverage is, you're right. A lot of it is completely underinsured, and you overpay.
And
Okay.
that is the point of financial literacy, is that is really what we like to do. And many times that's all we do all day long, is just making sure people understand.
Yeah, and educating them.
Like old ladies, in Anderson, for example, I help them with their Medicare supplement, or their retirement or anything like that. They have no clue of why they are receiving the statements, for example. And all of that, with those free, because we do Medicare supplements too, we are also helpful.
Wow. So we need to reach out to you. Any age, any people. So do you have any upcoming events or teaching that's coming up? And then also, where can we find you, Norma?
Okay, well, we have two offices. We have one in downtown Reading, and then also in downtown Anderson. And we have a website, and so it's very, very. We are very reachable.
Okay.
We have really never been affected because we have been doing Zoom all over the country, and so that just made it very, very easy. It's so interesting though, doing Zoom with people that are in town.
That is
So-
true.
so- But that helped too.
Yeah. What is your website?
Norma Mallari, WFG Connects. I will have to what do you call this? WFGconnects.com. Norma Laura Mallari.
Okay. Is there somewhere easy social media that people can find you and find your links?
Of course.
Or your phone number, if you don't mind.
I was gonna
calling
say
it.
it's up to you. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that
Oh,
people
sure,
have
sure.
an easy way to contact you, because it's important.
Oh,
information.
okay. This is an easy one. Okay, How Money Works / Norma Laura Mallari.
Perfect.
.com, of course. HowMoneyWorks.com / Norma. Laura Mallari.
Perfect. You guys definitely should reach out to her, because your health is super important. There's no price on that. So thank you for sitting down with us tonight and visiting and educating us a bit. It's always a pleasure.
All the
Thank
time.
you, Norma.
You're most welcome.
Have a good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We
are
are Women of Vision.
Vision.